You did it for the wrong reason. What are your reasons?
Sarper might be the most misunderstood comic on stage right now. Here's why.
Alright, next up we've got Sarper!
Sarper recently took the stage at the Ice House Comedy Club in Pasadena. And surprisingly, he delivered a genuinely funny set.
Are you practicing your routine?
Yeah.
You're too nervous.
It's a notable leap from his earlier attempts, including the time he rehearsed a routine for Shekinah before meeting her daughter,
I'm so embarrassed. The dig at Dan.
or that chaotic first set where he singled out Dan.
If you ask me, I don't like the marriage.
The core of his routine revolved around the pitfalls of marriage and the dramatic shifts that come with being in a long-term relationship. Sarper leaned into this theme with confidence and wit, using observational humor to draw laughs, and he didn't hold back. Shekinah was present and became a recurring part of the act, with Sarper referencing her multiple times and even pointing her out to the audience during the set.
I had the best time.
After the performance, she was the first to greet him with a kiss, a small but telling moment that contrasted sharply with ongoing rumors about trouble in their relationship. Despite widespread speculation, they didn't appear to be heading toward divorce. There were no cameras or production crew present, indicating this outing was strictly about the performance, not reality TV.
It was like a dream. I mean, it was 5 minutes.
Sarper's stage presence reflected growing confidence. Performing stand-up is no easy task,
Something
Your
in our
English was so
country.
good, though.
Thank you.
especially in a second language and in front of a foreign audience. Yet his English was polished, his delivery natural, and his jokes well received. He's clearly working hard to build something new. He's reportedly set a goal of performing 2,500 sets, an ambitious challenge by any standard. Still, it's evident that he's committed, and the night was a solid step forward. Though he may not fit the traditional image of a stand-up comic, Sarper is carving out a space for himself through persistence and humor. Shekinah isn't the problem. It's everyone else playing victim. Let's get to the heart of it. Is Shekinah causing the issues, or is she the one being wronged?
I'm doing a little eye massage.
You're always doing something to... So,
At first glance, it's easy to think she misunderstood, disliked for being vain or overly confident. But when nearly everyone around her starts calling her a mean girl, it's hard not to reevaluate.
I don't know how I got so many people so riled up.
The reality? She's a bit of both.
I'm gonna try harder, I'm learning, be patient with me, teach me how to be in a relationship.
Shekinah and Sarper clearly have feelings for each other, but their strong, often combative personalities mean their arguments escalate quickly. Instead of communicating like adults, they go straight for emotional knockouts. It's not a healthy pattern, but it is dramatic.
She sent me a message and said, I'm sorry in advance for the things I'm gonna say about you.
Still, Sarper deserves some credit. Even when visibly irritated with her, he stepped in to defend Shekinah when Amani got out of line. Meanwhile, Shekinah turned around and defended Dan against Sarper, which raises a few eyebrows. It's hard not to see that as part of the larger issue. If Sarper's paying attention, he might want to reconsider a few things.
If you feel like you're being interrogated or something, just keep in mind that it's because they love me.
They recently mentioned that they're making more of an effort to spend time with other couples rather than just Shekinah's single friends. Sarper even said he's formed a friendship with another Turkish man who's also dating an American woman. It suggests she may actually be trying to grow, at least a little.
If you didn't open your mouth, I would have said something to you.
As for the mean girl label, Shekinah doesn't typically go after the other women unprovoked. That said, Danielle and Amani have been openly hostile, stirring the pot at every opportunity. Their behavior has often been far more aggressive than anything Shekinah's done. It's also worth noting how composed Shekinah and Sarper remained during the more chaotic moments, especially considering how volatile things got with Danielle, Matt, and Amani. Despite the pressure, they didn't lose control. That doesn't make Shekinah innocent. She's still deeply self-centered, often judgmental of other people's relationships, and seemingly blind to her own role in the dysfunction she faces. Her ego can be exhausting.
Because if my friends start hating you, it's going to cause so many problems for me.
She's flawed, she stirs the pot, but she also seems to attract conflict because others know she'll give them a reaction. For some, that's a tactic. For her, it's a trap she keeps falling into. At the end of the day, Shekinah isn't the villain or the victim, she's both, and that might just be what makes her so compelling. Everyone's praising her new look, but no one's mentioning the surgeon.
We're saying you were going for a more natural look.
Shekinah actually looks great this time. It seems like she toned down the lip filler a bit. Her face still looks like she's had plenty of work done. Not necessarily better, just very different. But at least she no longer resembles a mannequin.
I'm gonna do a little lymphatic drainage on my face.
There was something noticeably different, though it was hard to pinpoint. It might just be that she backed off the lip injections. Even so, her face still looks unnaturally tight, almost unsettling.
You look gorgeous. A little bit different.
There's this slow transformation happening, and it's giving off serious Angelica Houston vibes in the most theatrical way possible. We might need to reconsider what qualifies as great. Yes, the lips are less exaggerated, which helps, and technically, filler fades on its own over time. Maybe she just didn't go in for maintenance. If that's the case, it's a refreshing change. Hopefully, it sticks. Still, it's hard to ignore how stretched her cheeks and eyes remain. Her expression looks frozen, like she might rupture something if she moves her face too much.
What's that?
This is from my double chin.
And the chin implant? It's sharp enough to cut glass. Her features are all sharp lines and tension. There's not a trace of softness anywhere. That said, she does look the best she has in quite a while. Let's hope she keeps heading in this direction. She says she did it for herself. She didn't.
It's not necessarily something I'm proud of.
Shekinah and Imani clash often, probably because they're more similar than they'd like to acknowledge. Both have undergone cosmetic procedures, though Shekinah insists her motivations are different. She claims she does it for herself, while Imani openly acknowledges that she's reacting to societal expectations about beauty.
You did it for the wrong reason.
What are your reasons?
But are their reasons truly different?
Surgeries, like I got a BBL.
Imani may be more self-aware, recognizing that chasing an ideal imposed by society can be a never-ending, unsatisfying cycle. She eventually realizes that no procedure will bring lasting contentment.
My under eyes were bothering me so much.
In contrast, Shekinah clings to the idea that her choices are purely personal, seemingly unaware or unwilling to admit that her standards of beauty didn't develop in a vacuum. The notion of altering one's appearance for yourself often overlooks the origin of those ideals. What a person believes they should look like is almost always shaped by cultural conditioning, not some innate personal truth. So while the language may differ, the root cause is the same.
She asked if Ani was trans and told me not to tell Ani.
There's also a pattern of competition. Shekinah appears to feel threatened by any woman she perceives as more attractive. Her pointed question about whether someone else was trans suggests a deeper insecurity, not curiosity. And her discomfort when challenged reveals a self-awareness she'd rather keep hidden.
And then she sent me a message and said, I do really like you.
It's possible that Shekinah's public remarks opened the door for others to use her platform for their own visibility. One could argue that Shekinah's higher profile became an opportunity, whether consciously or not, for others to gain traction in the broader media space. Ultimately, the claim that there's a right reason to undergo cosmetic surgery is flawed. Framing one's own motives as morally superior while dismissing others as shallow or misguided only highlights the same insecurity being denied. The distinctions made between their choices don't hold up under scrutiny. That wasn't a wedding. It was a photo shoot pretending to be one. Something about Shekinah's marriage just didn't feel right.
Even though my vision for a wedding day is getting married in bed.
Yes, it was visually appealing, stylish even, but it felt more like a staged production than a heartfelt celebration. Everything was just a little too perfect, too curated, too rehearsed. It didn't come across as a genuine expression of love or commitment. Instead, it looked like a carefully orchestrated photo shoot designed for optics, not intimacy.
We do have a ton of pictures together. We counted it at one time, it was like 7,000.
The kind of event where capturing the perfect shot mattered more than who was actually there or why. And the relationship itself? Questionable. The whole thing gave the impression that they shouldn't have been getting married in the first place. It lacked warmth, spontaneity, or any real sense of connection.
But my mind right now is something else.
Sarper's supposed aversion to marriage felt more like a scripted subplot than something organic.
Like everything is wrong with this picture.
Outside of her workspace, a random ex, and some questionable home decor, there wasn't much substance to their dynamic.
We decided to do it in bed.
What? Like a wedding in your bed?
Exactly.
It seemed less like a wedding and more like a promotional shoot for a lifestyle brand neither of them could actually afford to maintain. There was no real gathering of loved ones, no meaningful traditions, no shared joy. Just a camera-ready setup with none of the emotional weight you'd expect from a wedding. Even courthouse ceremonies, simple as they are, can carry more heart. This felt like a budget wedding dressed up for social media approval. And the absence of family? That said more than any photo ever could. Shekinah says she wants respect. But watch how she treats her fiancé when the roles are reversed.
Shekinah, what happened between you and Ameni before coming to the tell-all?
During the tell-all, Shekinah called out Sarper for not having her back when Amani challenged her.
Leave me the alone.
He stood quietly for a moment, then walked away rather than engage. Yet somehow, that wasn't good enough. She insisted he should have stood up for her more. Full stop. But just episodes earlier, the roles were reversed, and Shekinah handled it very differently.
There's some little backhanded stabs going on.
She allowed Sarper to sit through an entire dinner with her so-called friends, including her ex Dan, who relentlessly insulted and provoked him. She didn't intervene. She didn't defend Sarper once. Instead, she framed the situation as a test to see if he could stay calm under pressure.
So you cannot consider her
She is my
as...
Barbie.
No, you can't consider her as your Barbie. I'm sorry.
While her ex went out of his way to antagonize him in public. There was no concern then about standing up for her partner or showing loyalty. No outrage over disrespect. But when Sarper doesn't immediately leap to her defense after a brief exchange with Amani, it suddenly becomes a crisis. The hypocrisy is glaring. Expecting unconditional support and respect without offering the same in return shows a clear double standard. If a relationship is meant to be an equal partnership, both sides should be protecting and backing each other, not picking and choosing when it's convenient. Meanwhile, others in the group seem more focused on screen time than sincerity. With so many spin-offs emerging, it's hard not to wonder if personal drama is being manufactured for airtime. The show's original premise is becoming increasingly difficult to take seriously as familiar faces cycle through one storyline after another. What's clear is that actions aren't matching words, and the audience isn't missing it. Some men shouldn't date until they pass a basic human interaction test.
You are fun, babe.
You're a lucky bitch.
Sarper would be an ideal pick to host a reality show aimed at guiding men who have a hard time navigating the dating world.
Good idea.
I'm a father figure.
The concept? A tongue-in-cheek coaching show where Sarper mentors a group of men who are notably bad at meeting women. Think Tyre, Mike, Cesar, Gino, and others who seem painfully awkward or delusional when it comes to dating. This isn't a show about finding lasting love. It's about building enough confidence and basic social awareness to engage in a functional conversation and maybe get a date.
It's just like going to like a restaurant and sitting down and having a conversation.
The goal is simple. Get these men to stop self-sabotaging and start interacting like actual adults. Sarper leads the charge with his over-the-top swagger and questionable methods. It's part comedic experiment, part self-improvement journey.
At first, I thought that she would be a one-night stand.
He's not offering advice for meaningful relationships, but rather helping these men cross the baseline of romantic competence. Think of it as dating boot camp. Absurd, entertaining, and just self-aware enough to work. Kobe could join the cast as the relationship stability coach, stepping in once someone manages to meet a woman they genuinely like. Armando and Kenny would be ideal as the fashion and grooming experts, giving the cast the much-needed makeovers they've never known to want. Colt would make an excellent candidate for a full transformation. Physical fitness, mental resilience, social skills, and wardrobe included. Sarper could take him under his wing for a complete mind-body reboot.
Janae is obsessed with animals.
As an added twist, a spin-off segment could follow Sarper exploring the animal world. His surprisingly tender moments with animals like the house cow and sea lions show a different, softer side.
I think it's so cute, the Sarper book.
Imagine a nature-themed segment hosted by someone who treats sea lions with more reverence than his dates. While Sarper excels in the realm of superficial charm, he's not suited to guide men seeking deep emotional connections. His lessons are geared toward casual encounters and should be treated accordingly. The tone remains humorous, not harmful. And perhaps the show's real arc comes through an unexpected transformation. As Sarper helps others, he begins to confront his own shallow habits and slowly starts to understand the value of real connection. Realistically, some participants may be beyond help. Tyre idealizes women who are far outside his reality. Cesar is fixated on unattainable Instagram models. Gino appears more interested in transactional arrangements than genuine connection. While their success might be unlikely, the entertainment value in watching the attempt is undeniable. That's the tea for today. Catch you next time when the drama gets even messier. I'm Zara, and this was your Reality Rampage.